Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be customizing the Coil Cyclone in GTA Online. This thing is a removed vehicle, but of course it is available within the LS car meet right now to be purchased, and it is on sale, going for just over $1.3 million. So pretty interesting car. Anyways, we're going to be customizing it today because I haven't customized it in a very long time. It's been, I think, over 3 years since I've customized this car. So I decided it was time to update that last customization with a new customization today. So here we are. Starting off with the armor, we're going to go all the way up on that. For the brakes, we're also going to go all the way up on those. For the bumpers, we do have a few different bumper options. Unfortunately, no rear bumper options for the car, seemingly at least. I can't remember. Maybe it does have some that we can put on eventually. But we have the painted curve splitter, the carbon curve splitter. We also have the painted performance splitter or carbon performance splitter. I have to say, I feel like I like the performance splitter a little bit better than the curve splitter. I just feel like it kind of looks a little bit better. I feel like it flows better with the car. So we will go with the carbon performance splitter for right now. And for the engine, we do have engine upgrades, which is pretty cool. This thing is fully electric, by the way, just so you are aware. So we will go level 4 for that. For the lights, we will go for xenon lights. For the neon kit, we will put one on to lower the center of gravity of the car, which will help with the handling. And God knows that we need to help out with the handling on this car because, of course, it is electric. So electric cars in GTA never handle well. So yeah, hopefully it helps. With the livery, we got the dual black stripes. We also have the dual white stripes as well. We have the dual blue or dual red on top of that as well. We have the blue race stripes as another option, the red racing stripes or the black body stripes, which is pretty cool actually. I don't mind that. And then we have the inverted body stripes, which is also kind of cool. Overall, I think that I would kind of like to go for the dual blue stripes, and I think we can maybe do something kind of cool with this. So we'll try our best. And for the plate, we will go yellow on black, of course. For the respray itself, what are our options here? Let's see. We're gonna have to have a little look through. I was thinking of maybe some sort of a blue of some sort, but I don't know that it's gonna look very awesome with this. So we could go for something like kind of way different and go for maybe an orange with the blue. I feel like it's not the worst look ever, but at the same time, we might be able to go for something a little more interesting still. Shadow silver is something that I was thinking of because I feel like this color does look really good with blues because it does sort of have a little bit of a blue hint or hue to it. So that could be a cool option. We could of course do just a black or something like that. In fact, that actually might look really good. Hang on, let's go for a black. Let's make the pearlescent black as well. I'm kind of curious to see how this looks. This might actually turn out really well. Honestly, it's looking pretty sleek. I kind of like it. I'm not 100% set on it, but it's kind of cool. Then again, we could try it out in, the only other thing I'm maybe really thinking of is an olive green or something like that. I feel like an olive green could actually look really good on this car. Let's actually throw the olive green on super quick, and maybe we'll give it the gold pearlescent because I feel like that looks really good on this car generally, or on this color I should say. Yeah, that looks really good. Okay, hang on. Now for that secondary color, we could keep it black, or we could also just double down and go olive green for that as well. That might be the better thing to do. I feel like it would look a little more concise, but we'll throw that on for right now. For the trim color, it's bright purple because it comes this way at the LS car meet, so we're definitely changing that up though. Maybe a cream interior? I feel like a cream interior is not too bad looking. Let's go for that. And for the skirts, we do have some skirt options here, which is nice. Definitely feeling the carbon race skirt more than the performance skirt for sure. I'm not really digging that it's on this end. I kind of feel like it belongs back there, the little fin there. So we will go for that. Now for the wings, we have the painted wing type 2. We also have that in secondary. We have the carbon wing type 2 as well. We have the painted tuner wing, secondary tuner wing, or carbon tuner wing. Carbon tuner wing is definitely calling my name a little bit there. And the GT wings, and we have those in primary, secondary, or carbon. Definitely going for the carbon tuner wing. I feel like that's by far the best looking one, so we'll go for that. For the suspension, we will lower it down because this thing has a little bit of a weird gap there, so we'll try to do as much as we can with that. And unfortunately, of course, no turbo or transmission upgrade because it is fully electric, so that is something to keep in mind with this car for sure. Now, for the wheels, I was thinking of maybe going for one of the newer sort of wheels, like the forged Star, the modern mesh. or something like that, but I have been using these a lot lately, so I'm kind of wondering if I should maybe go for something a little bit different, maybe something more like the High 5 or the Super Lux potentially. I'm kind of digging the Super Lux, not gonna lie. I feel like that looks really good. Let's go for that option. And let's do it in, maybe a bronze? Maybe a bronze today with this car, with this build. Dark copper? Dark copper? It's looking pretty good, I've gotta say. Kind of a fan. Or the bronze. Maybe the bronze a little bit more though. I feel like it's a little darker looking, so kind of digging that a little bit more. The dark ivory too. Dark ivory could be kind of cool. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Maybe the dark ivory. Kind of like that. Kind of like the tone of it a little bit better. Let's go for that. Bulletproof the tires for sure. And windows, we will tint them to a dark smoke. And I do believe that is pretty much it. Things are looking pretty good. I feel like I actually really like how this has turned out. Now, the only thing is the livery, maybe. We might want to change up the livery just a little bit. Maybe the dual black stripes would be a little bit better for this build in particular. I'm kind of digging it a little bit more, so yeah, we're going to go for the dual black stripes. I feel like it just looks a little bit better. So we got that. Let's take it outside. Now, of course, it's time to do the review section of the video. We will do a sound test, but there's really no point in even doing it in the first place, but we will do it nonetheless, so take a listen. Yeah, okay, so that's it. Yeah, no, nothing. Absolutely nothing in the way of sound. It is fully electric, of course, so that is the explanation for that. Now, the Coil Cyclone is obviously the predecessor to the much faster and console exclusive currently Coil Cyclone 2. Now, it is supposed to be coming to PC with the recent update and Battle Eye getting added to PC and everything like that, as I'm sure you guys have probably heard of. So we will be getting the sequel to this car eventually pretty soon, I think, on PC, which is pretty cool. Now, the Coil Cyclone itself is a decent car. I wish that guy didn't stop there, my bad. The Coil Cyclone's a decent car, and for being an electric supercar in GTA Online, just an electric car in general, I would say that this is actually one of the better ones out there for sure. The Ocelot Virtue is obviously like the fastest in a straight line, but the handling on that vehicle is notoriously pretty bad, I would say. A lot of people don't really love how it handles, and I don't blame them for it at all because it's not a very good handling car. However, the Coil Cyclone, I must say, it is pretty good feeling. Now, the rear end does tend to oversteer a little bit, but that's honestly kind of different for an electric car in GTA because I feel like most of the time they understeer completely, which is really, really annoying. But this thing feels pretty well balanced to a point, at least. It does get to a point where it does sort of lock out the front wheels a little bit, and that is, of course, quite annoying. You just won't be able to turn anymore at a certain point, and then the rear end will kind of like drag itself along. It almost feels like this thing is more front wheel drive than it is rear wheel drive, but it is all wheel drive, so that is definitely something to keep in mind. I just feel like they send more power to the front wheels on this car, and it's the same thing with the Coil Cyclone 2, really. Now, it doesn't really give you a great handling balance, but it does give you, I guess, a good launch in theory. Speaking of the launch, let's just do one just so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. It's pretty quick off the line, definitely not too bad. The top speed on this car is like pretty low. It's in the lower 120 area because of course it's an electric car in GTA, so it's going to have a lower top speed like the rest of them do, and it makes sense because in real life obviously that's kind of a thing too. Pretty interesting vehicle for sure. The customization's not bad. Overall, I would say it is pretty nice. Now, for $1.3 million on sale, this thing seems like kind of a joke to me. Now, this thing at regular price goes for, I believe it's $1.9 million, and it is 30% off, so it's like $1.3 sort of million. And for either of those prices, I can't really necessarily recommend it to you guys. Like, if you're interested in it because it's a Rimac and, you know, you think it's going to be a fun car to drive and customize, that's, you know, cool. Whatever. And if you want to buy it for those reasons, that's totally acceptable for sure. But just be aware that for similar money, you can get a much, much better performing vehicle, which is definitely something to keep in mind. So if you're looking for a car that's going to, you know, maybe enable you to do the time trial or win you supercar class races or whatever, I would definitely look a little bit further than the Coil Cyclone. Just based on the top speed alone, this thing is just going to get wrecked, which is super unfortunate because it is a cool car at the end of the day, but it's just, I don't think it's really worth the money. For 1.3 mil, there's a lot of cool things you can get in GTA. GTA for sure. Even the Fister 811 that's also on sale this week at the LS car meet is, you know, cheaper than this thing, and that's at full price. And it has a much higher top speed with arguably similar or better handling, maybe potentially worse handling in some ways, but it's a much better car for the money, I would say. So you should definitely consider something like that before purchasing the Coil Cyclone. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it for the Coil Cyclone customization and review in GTA Online. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you learned something, a like is of course appreciated. If not, dislike. Consider subscribing to my channel if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.